Do I think Def Noodles is a comedian? No, I do not. The deaf is so apparent now. It stands for deaf. Duh.
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda cute.
Welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, hello, my name is Pearl. And if you are not brand new here, thank you for keeping me alive. Seriously, I appreciate it. Now, I wanted to come to you guys with a bare face today, in all transparency, to see how my depression has ruined my skin. Like, I can't even explain. Besides the point, we're going straight ghetto. The only glove I have is this kitchen glove, so I will be putting a mask on. Now listen, I cannot believe that this whole time I've been trying to figure out what deaf noodles meant. Like, what does deaf noodles mean? What does deaf mean? What does noodles mean?
Gossip and all the drama and all that with a cup of noodles. It's the one, the only, Dennis Deaf Noodles.
Who better? Yeah. Oh, well.
Defamation, defensive, like what is the deaf part? The deaf is so apparent now. It stands for deaf. Duh. Like, he doesn't listen. And this 2-hour conversation, aka a chat, because it really wasn't a conversation because he wouldn't let the man speak. I mean, you guys, first of all, I wish we could have reacted to it, because if y'all actually, I filmed a little bit when I was watching it, so I'll throw in a couple of my fresh reactions throughout this video. I'm literally 37 minutes in. One day we're gonna start doing long reactions, because if y'all could see my reactions right now, always listen to your gut. Always listen to your gut, because Def Noodles is literally, it's like he's not even there. It's like he's not even comprehending. He's not listening. I just am, you guys, 37 minutes in. I still, this is a 2-hour video, so I had to pop in, show y'all my reaction. Your girl, I got so many timestamps written down. Ciao! But I am going to go through every single timestamp that I wrote down after watching this 2-hour video. I am telling you that I have 28 timestamps in front of me, and I have a nail appointment in an hour and a half. So I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but we're going to get through it, okay? So let's start immediately with this side of my face. Anyways, so I start the video. Immediately, I already can tell Dennis's energy is off. He ain't looking at the camera. He ain't looking at Papa Gut or whatever. He's just looking very like, oh, okay, let me get this over with. It's kind of like when you go to a boss and the boss doesn't care about your situation, and they're just sitting there like they're still busy, like da, 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 like that's how the energy was when it first started. Now, I did not write down nothing for the first 15 minutes. I really just wanted to see how they were gonna, like, you know, start and everything like that. So listen, the way I cannot believe Def Noodles posted this on his channel. I saw that he posted, because obviously YouTube is gonna recommend him. I click on it, and I was thinking I was gonna have a regular 10-minute video updating me on what the heck is going on in the world right now. You know what I mean? Like Twitter update type stuff. Absolutely not. This man has, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know why he thought it was a good idea to put this video on his channel. I went through his comment section for a good, I ain't even gonna lie, maybe 30 plus minutes. I went through, and I'm not talking about Papa Gut. I'm talking about Def Noodles. I went through Papa Guts, but I was just wanting to see what people were saying. But I went through Def Noodles, and there was a lot of Def Noodles fans that were in shock, that were in absolute, that they were like, I don't know who this is. I've lost respect for you. I mean, countless. I mean, the criticism was just wow. People are even telling him like, hey, stop doing interviews, get off your podcast and continue with the regular content, because we don't like this. You know what I mean? So it's interesting how Def Noodles can state that he knows his audience so well. I'm like, sir, I don't think you do, because if you knew your audience so well, you probably wouldn't have that much Keemstar stuff on your page. My thing is, thank God I never went to Keemstar's page. Like, I went to Papa's, but I never went to Keemstar's trying to, you know, figure out what was going on, because I was just like, I don't have the energy to be dealing with somebody with that kind of a personality, to be honest with you. I absolutely do not. I'm just like, I can't. But let me just say this before we hop into here, because there's one thing that Def Noodles did bring up in this that I think a lot of people will neglect and not say anything about, right? So do I think Def Noodles is a comedian? No, I do not. Does Def Noodles think he's a comedian? Yes, he does. When it comes to the realms of comedians, as somebody who has done stand-up before and is countlessly told that they are funny, knowing that they cry every single day. Hello. I know that most people who are funny definitely have a really deep-suited trauma, right? They have some sort of depression, some sort of insecurity. I mean, it could go into all kinds of things, even into suicidal thoughts, depression, I mean, anxiety, all kinds of things, right? So when Def Noodles brought this up, I was like, interesting, because he brought it up after I brought it up, meaning I filmed after, you know, I realized the way he was acting, and I thought in my head, like, you know, I have to make a appointment with a therapist immediately, because there's no way that I can continue to think I can handle things by myself without checking my mental. Because not to say he's not checking his mental, I don't know the man, but what I'm saying here is there are certain things that I see in people that I notice honestly in myself as well, right? And why is that? Why is that? It's because I also have those traits that may be on the negative side, being overly sensitive, being overly defensive, yelling, cussing, maybe even being manipulative mentally, gaslighting. I don't know. It really depends on the situation, but there are times where I have to catch myself and be like, man, I'm really being a shitty human right now. Like, I really am being a shitty person. And when it happens, it normally happens to the point where there's no return, right? I can't get that person to forgive me. That friendship is gone. That relationship is over. That extension is cut, if you will, right? And it's unfortunate, but it's something that I can't dwell on, right? I just have to keep getting better and then hope to not make that same mistake in the future. So I kind of feel this part of myself that's very much like, man, I get where he's coming from, but I also know that this is not the way to handle it. You know what I mean? Meaning in the aspect of his insecurities. I mean, his insecurities and his ego is just so absolutely inflated in this video. It's like so hard to watch. It's so sad to see. And it makes you just like completely rethink who you thought you were watching in the beginning, right? Which is what I stated in my last video. There are different personalities and genres of Def Noodles. At least that's what I can see, right? So anyways, let's hop into the first freaking timestamp, because I am not going to be putting them on the screen whatsoever. You will be able to hear them though. Let me take this glove off so we can get there. So the first timestamp is 16:15. So let's get on over there and see exactly what that is, because we're just going to keep going from timestamp to timestamp, because obviously, you know, this video is freaking long.
Or they may end up in one of the cables and everything may end up
turn
getting
it
cut
off.
off.
Okay.
Or you may end up hearing growling.
Boom.
I'm sorry.
Right here. What are you doing? Pause. So he's I don't want to say deflecting, because I mean, I guess he could have been distracted, but he starts bringing up his dogs. Like, oh, sorry, my dogs are running around here, and, you know, they might actually chew up the cords, and, you know, the whole thing might shut down. Is that supposed to be a joke? Am I supposed to be laughing at that, Mr. Comedian? What?
Or they may end up in one of the cables and everything may end up getting cut off. But
so weird.
Or you may end up hearing growling. I'm sorry. No problem.
Look at the way Papa Gut is handling himself. He's just like, look at this. No problem. Go ahead. That's fine. It's so sad to see, you guys.
In case you hear growling, I got a pug and a cavalier just running around. Mm-hmm. Anyway, to go back to what I was saying, I honestly,
why would you bring that up? And this is my thing, is if you brought it up in the aspect of like wanting to be comedic, right? You wanted to be funny. Was that supposed to be a funny joke? Was I supposed to be hee-hee and a kiki and like, oh, puppy? Like, what? I can't even see the dog. Only you can see the dog. Like, we're supposed to be having an honest, like, very serious conversation, and you're dilly-dallying in your mind and being distracted. And I just, these are the things that I noticed that it's so, for example, that's why I had to write timestamps. That's why I had to write timestamps watching this entire video, because it was just like, what is going on with Def Noodles? Because I personally believe he needs to stick with his little videos that he's been doing, and he needs to never do something like this again. Never do something like this again. I don't know where he thought that he was going to be correct, but wow, it is so sad to see. Next, 2140. Now this is a 2140 timestamp on Papa's, not Def Noodles. Def Noodles video is shorter.
I would like to believe that they are not racists at heart, but what they did was extremely damaging to a young black boy. It's extremely fucked up. It is extremely fucked up. Yeah.
Here's my issue with this. The whole freaking time he's saying this, he's looking at the floor.
They fucked up. Yeah. I would like to believe that they are not racists at heart, but
what they did was extremely damaging to a young black boy. It's extremely fucked up. It is extremely fucked up.
Yeah.
And I really wish that at the end of the day, they had handled that whole situation a little better, because
it's so weird. It's like, what are you scared of looking up for?
The issue that they were bringing up is a really serious issue. And I really do think that, their daughter is going.
Let's talk about the daughter real quick, because a lot of people are going in the comments on Papa Gut saying, how can he be the gatekeeper for trauma, yada, 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 yada. I don't think you guys understand where he was coming with that. And I don't think I really brought it up in my last video. Actually, no, I didn't. We didn't even talk about Papa Gut. And I just was talking about my original thoughts on Deaf Noodles and my gut feeling. So Papa Gut saying that was valid to me because I understand where he's coming from in the aspect of that's not necessarily as traumatic as other things. Yes, there are things that are traumatic, but it's traumatic to that person's environment. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be a case-by-case kind of situation where he's saying his opinion is, I don't believe that this girl is going to be traumatized by this. Now, here's my rebuttal to that. I truly want to ask every single person that believes that this 15-year-old girl is traumatized, right? Okay, if she was traumatized and she was seriously like hurt, sad, like literally like this could change her life, her trajectory, her mentality, everything, right? If that's the case, then why did her mother put her on camera, sit next to her, and allow millions of people, thousands of people to see said trauma? That's why I am not on the train of, no, it is trauma, it is trauma. You know what trauma is? Being on that family channel is also trauma. So explain to me where exactly that comes off. That's where I really don't understand why people were saying like he's being a gatekeeper, like why is he acting like... I don't think people are understanding where that's coming from, and I think it's because of the way that we are in society. A lot of people, and I hate to bring this up, will do anything and everything for white women tears. The second they see a white woman cry, doesn't matter if it's a child, a minor, an adult, the old woman, it's always like, oh my God, it's always a bigger deal compared to if a black woman is crying. Point blank, period, and you know that's facts. If you even try to go down there in that comment section and tell me that ain't true, I'm sorry, you're living in a different world, okay? And that's all I have to say. That is what bothers me about that whole narrative. It's just like you guys are really trying to make it seem like this girl isn't already being traumatized by her own situation that her own parents are putting her in. That's what I don't understand. Like, make it make sense.
Sorry, I just got an email from someone I was working with. Not email.
Sorry, I just got an email from somebody that I was just working with. Second time where he's distracted. So this is why am I bringing this up? Because at the end of this 2-hour conversation, really after an hour and 30 minutes, he starts talking about how this conversation wasn't productive. We're going in circles. I've wasted my time. I'm busy. I have things to do. Da, 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 da. Okay, if that's the case, then why is it that 20 minutes in, you're sorry that you're looking at an email real quick and not paying attention to the time that you know that is so valuable? Def. Let me calm down, because this really had me so... Anyways, let's get to the next timestamp. I have a nail appointment and I do not have time to be going through this.
Deals to people who were raped to call this kid a rapist.
That is, I said it's absolutely fucking wrong.
So like I feel like we're giving them a tremendous amount of the benefit of the doubt here, and like not even saying like they did a bad thing intentionally. It very much feels that way, because there were so many areas where they failed. It wasn't like a one-off. Intentionally misrepresented the age, continuously called him a grown man after they corrected the age. Weaponizing pedophilia, predators, sexual assault. There's a lot here. And I feel like we're being like a little too easy on them, because they definitely did like a really terrible thing. And they're invalidating a tremendous amount of survivors here.
How are we being easy on them when we literally just, called them out
saying that we don't know what's in their heart.
We called them out for the framing of the entire story. They literally just got called racist. I don't know if calling someone racist is going easy on someone to you, but
I guess that was me though. You keep saying like, oh, we don't know what's in their heart, and that's what I mean.
I don't like that he said that. Let me explain to you why. Because that's only offensive to somebody to a certain extent if they actually are. I have countless white friends that have spoken to me about their racist families, completely open about it. So if that is the case, if I were to ask them, are you offended that I call you racist? They probably wouldn't be that offended, right? Because they're openly stating that, yeah, I've been racist in my past. I have a mother that's racist. We had slaves in our family, whatever the freaking situation is, right? But if you are actually racist and someone calls you racist and you get real defensive, no, I'm not. Why would you think that? Why would you think that? Clearly, there's going to be some sort of like, oh, sir, are you okay? Like, is there something going on? Or like, why would you be so offended unless you actually were? I'm sorry, but that's how I see it. I don't know if I'm right on that. You guys let me know down below your thoughts on that. But that's my opinion, because I don't see myself getting mad, at least not to an extent of like, oh my gosh, like we caught them racist, like that's terrible. It's only going to be that bad to the person if they actually are. I'm sorry. That's just how I don't see people being upset about it if they're not. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're open about it, you're honest about, you know, your downfalls, you know, things that you probably shouldn't have done. You are not going to be like, oh my God, they called me racist. No, you're going to be like, okay, well, maybe I was in the past, but I'm not anymore. Something of that nature. Point blank period.
What? Let me just hold on.
You're basing your entire arguments on assumption.
Well, no, but okay, but like I hold on. Just let me get a thought out, please. Let me just
yeah, that's fine.
I think that it's a very
okay, that's fine. Get your thought out. The entire time, you're just dominating the entire conversation to the point where it's like, we can't even have a conversation with you because you are dominating it. You're in your mannerisms and even your diction, your body language. You're very much like, I am the one that is right here no matter what. Even if I'm wrong, I'm still right because I'm a bigger channel than you. I'm well more known. You ain't nobody. I'm the person that matters. That's how you're coming off. If anybody else is seeing that differently, please explain to me how you're seeing it differently. Explain that to me, because I am really trying so hard to see where anybody could defend Def Noodles here. I want anybody that is on Def Noodles' side to really show me exactly why you would be on his side here, because I'm absolutely confused.
Distinction between somebody calling you a dumb fuck in the middle of the street and somebody who's hosting a show, a comedian who's hosting a show, okay, calling you a dumb fuck. I mean, that's pretty much like, there's a difference.
Okay, so but where does the humor start and end?
Ding ding ding. Where?
Insult.
And he says insults. You got. And then he starts talking about Joan Rivers. And it just bothered me because it's like, first of all, the fact that you would really sit here and try to compare yourself to Joan freaking Rivers is absolutely disturbing. Joan Rivers is creative in her insults to the point that it is absolutely magical. You are nowhere close to that level. I would never categorize you as a comedian. Can I just say that bluntly? Never. I would never walk around and, hey, Pearl, so who's Def Noodles? Oh, he's a comedian. That would never come out of my mouth. I think, and not to, again, discredit you, but you don't come off as a comedian to me. You can say that, but I'm sorry, I don't see it. I know people that are comedians, and I'm sorry, I don't get that from you. Maybe that's your dream. But if that's your dream, you should be doing stand-up and trying to get a Netflix comedy show, right? Not on here. I mean, yeah, comedians could be on here, but in which way do you want to be a comedian? If this is the way you want to be a comedian, explain to me why. I'm so sorry. Please explain to me why, because I want to know. Truly.
Joan Rivers built.
Wait, okay. Wait, hold on. I actually agree with you. So wait, hold on. You're saying insults? They're like, okay. Right. So you're saying that the insults were jokes?
I mean, my entire show is meant to be jokes.
Yeah. No, it's totally fine. You're saying the insult. Okay, so then why isn't it a joke that what Killick said? If you insulting me was a joke, why is it that what Killick was saying, why wasn't that a joke?
Because the context that he was doing it in is
in his black skin. The context of what he was doing was in his black skin. That's how I see it. I'm just saying. Because the thing is being a black person, anything you say, you have to be even that much careful. You have to be even that much cautious compared to anybody else. You are going to put a higher penalty on me for any word that I say, any action that I do compared to any other race. And you cannot tell me that's not factual when I live the life. I see the experience. I hear the stories. So it's just like, sir.
It's different. Okay.
Well, there was. What is that? What do you mean?
It's different.
This whole thing. He even says that he was doing it to get under his skin.
So wait, why? Well, yeah, okay. So you're saying you weren't calling me a dumb fuck to get under my skin.
Context fucking matters for everything.
It's like he won't even answer the question. Oh, anyways, next. I have a nail appointment. Next. Anyways, here's another thing. That whole incel joke. The whole incel, shut up. Okay? Just shut. When I tell you, I said shut up so many times throughout this video. It was so annoying. And then he said, oh, well, of course you're married. I'm sure that's obvious that you're married. I had no idea that Papa Gut was married until yesterday. I was watching his content and had no clue he was married at all. I heard him say fiance one time. I was like, okay, fiance. So he has a girlfriend, whatever. He said that he was 31. Cool. I was looking at his hands, his wedding ring or what. He had a ring on, but I didn't see it on his left hand on the ring finger. So I had no idea. And then Def Noodles brings it up so casually, like, oh, everybody should know that. What do you mean? And it's like, how could you say that? Even Papa Gut says no. Just because you think you know your audience doesn't mean you know your audience. There are going to be people who watch your video that don't know who you are at all, and then they make a decision if they want to subscribe and be a part of your tribe or your audience, right? So it's just like
myself recording these videos versus being in front of a comedy club in front of people who are actually giving me like real time reactions. Okay, it's different. It's like I have to go with literally things that I find funny, and as I said. Look,
so okay, hold on.
That it didn't feel too good about it. So
yeah, no. This is the thing that's
continues to go back to an opinion that no one is saying. It's so bizarre to me, you guys. I literally even wrote right here 3140. That's the timestamp, and I put you make no sense. That's what I wrote down because I'm seriously so thoroughly confused.
Supportive of you. Apparently. We share a fan base somehow.
Yeah.
So,
boom. Why would you say something like that? Apparently, let's go back. Let's listen to it again because it's just so bizarre. 24.
Supportive of you. Apparently, we share a fan base somehow.
Yeah.
So there's like.
Why do you say somehow?
Because I have no idea. I have no idea that we like align or that we have.
That part right there is so calculated and manipulative. Like one, he's looking down at the floor. Papa's like, wait, why do you say that? Like, explain to me why you say that. And then he's like, oh, well, your content is, and then he puts in what people won't like, right? Things that Papa Gut has done in his past that people absolutely won't like. But Papa Gut is very open about it. So it's very much like, okay, so here you are trying to, shoot shots at something when there's no freaking target. There's no target, but yet you're just shooting. It's like, for what? Why? Can't. Anyways, let's get to the next point.
We can talk about that if you'd like.
Boom. Papa Gut literally stops everything. It's like, oh, we can talk about that like if you want. Let's talk about that. Okay? Let's do it. Which is exactly how you should take that. If you're gonna bring something to my attention that you know is negative and other people are going to see it as negative, let's talk about it. I'm that kind of person too. It's like if you call my phone, you're like, oh, I heard this is about you. Oh, cool, let's talk about it. What you hear? Let's go through the story. I am the same way. Let's hop in the part when Papa Gut starts talking about ant carrying